These are very puzzling readings, aren't they? It's good to, though, go more deeply into them. You know, Jesus spoke to in parables not to trick us, but to invite us to go deeper. One of the great flaws of all religions is to just go on the surface, to coast through, without really taking the faith into our hearts, our minds, and our bodies. Parables say, wait, linger, wrestle with these ideas, debate, talk among yourselves about them. In the first reading, we get a sense of God's disgust with humanity because we're so hard-hearted. We want to live superficially. There's a lot of comforts in doing so. But we also have to say that in this part of the people's journey, in this case through the prophet Jeremiah, there's a bit of projection. People are disgusted with themselves and certainly with others. So they recognize that God must be angry and disgusted as well. It's kind of reading the signs of the times, but is it really a message of who God really is and what God really thinks? We can't even venture to know God is greater than anything we can possibly know or explain. But it also reminds us that there's something here to wrestle with, because something is important for us to go deeper. And we see from Jeremiah and the psalm that we prayed, real evidence of why we did and we do need a Savior. How much more sense Jesus makes when we recognize how necessary it is for him to reveal the Father more fully to us, because we don't always get it right. And let's face it, even with 2,000 years of Christianity, we still don't really get it right, even with all that Jesus gives us. But this mustard seed in these parables and this yeast is the guarantee of Jesus. It's the guarantee of the sacraments. And we have to remember that even when we don't feel faith, even when we don't have that emotional fervor, which we sometimes do, that faith is more than our emotions, more than even how we feel in regard to these scriptures, but more it's an assent of the will, the free will that God has given us. So take heart. We all need to take heart, because in these days we may not really feel Jesus' presence in our lives, the calmness to deal with all the wrestling that's going on in the world, in our homes, in our families, in our church. Faith is an assent of the will. We can ask him as we come to the Eucharist today to give us some of that emotional fervor, because we tend to like that. We tend to feel comforted by it. But yet, if it's not the time, know that the seed is planted. Jesus, it plants the seed in every sacrament, and we have to allow patience for its time to bloom. But our dedication that we came here today to celebrate this Mass says that we are willing to keep moving forward and waiting for the seeds to really blossom in us in God's good time.